Good morning, all of you. Today, I am here to give you a brief idea about some experiments related to photosynthesis. So here, we have to study two experiments. The first experiment is to show that carbon dioxide is necessary for photosynthesis, and in the second experiment, we have to see that light is necessary for photosynthesis. So we will start with the first experiment now, to show that CO2 is necessary for photosynthesis. So for this, what we have to do, we have to take one potted plant we have to take, and then this leaf of the potted plant, there this half of the leaf we have to insert inside a wide mouthed bottle containing KOH solution. Okay, so here you see like this we are doing. Here we have KOH solution, and in a wide mouth bottle we are putting KOH solution, and then we have to keep this arrangement in sunlight. Okay, now the function of this KOH is to absorb all the carbon dioxide from this region. The KOH absorbs all the carbon dioxide from this region. And when we are putting this setup in sunlight, after some time, we will have to test this solution, test this leaf for presence of starch. Suppose this is part number 1 and this leaf is part number 2, which was inserted in KOH solution in a wide mouth bottle. Okay. Now we have to plug the leaf and we have to do the starch test. So for this starch test, what we have to do? We have to take the leaf, then we have to boil in water, then afterwards we have to put the same leaf in alcohol. Okay, then we have to add iodine solution. Then when we are adding iodine solution, we will observe that the portion number 1, which was not inside the KOH solution, that portion of the leaf shows the blue-black color, while the portion of the leaf which was inside the KOH solution, that does not show blue-black color. This indicates that CO2 is necessary for photosynthesis. Here we have seen that CO2 is absent. We have made the limiting factor, CO2 as the limiting factor. So whenever we have to test any of the substance, we have to limit that particular factor, and then we have to carry out the experiment. Okay, this simple experiment reveals that carbon dioxide is necessary for photosynthesis. Okay, second experiment we have to do that light is necessary for photosynthesis. So what we will do here, we will take one plant and then this leaf we have, then in this leaf what we have to do, we have to cover a portion of the leaf with the black paper or brown paper from both the sides. With the help of a clip, we will just attach this brown paper from both the sides and cover it. Okay, suppose this portion is 1 and rest portion is 2. Okay, we have to cover the portion of the leaf. Suppose say that portion is 1 and rest portion of the leaf is 2. There, what we have to do, after covering the leaf, we have to put the setup in sunlight. So once we put the setup in sunlight, after 4 to 5 hours, we have to again test that this particular leaf for the starch. Okay. Now, when we will test the leaf for the starch, we will observe that the portion number 1 of the leaf, which was covered with the brown paper or black paper, that does not show the blue-black color. Rest portion which was not covered with the brown paper or black paper, that is showing the blue black color. Okay, this simple experiment indicates that light is necessary for photosynthesis. This portion number 1, that was devoid of sunlight, that is not getting the sunlight. Rest the portion of the leaf which was not covered with the black paper, that was getting the sunlight. So this simple experiment shows that light is necessary for photosynthesis. Okay, already we have discussed about the raw materials used for photosynthesis. We have carbon dioxide, we have sunlight, we have chlorophyll, okay, we have water. So these are the raw materials used for the photosynthesis. Now we have to study about stomata. So all of you are knowing stomata, the tiny openings on the leaf, present on both sides of the leaf for the exchange of gases. So while the gases are being exchanged, CO2 and O2, that at that time stomata has much of its importance. So in the leaf, if we talk about stomata, so there are too much stomata present on the lower surface of the leaf. This is the reason is, if the leaf will be present on the upper side, upper portion, that will get the direct sunlight, and due to direct sunlight what will happen, more amount of transpiration will take place, as a result of which the plant may die. This is the reason why the stomata are more on the lower surface of the leaf. Okay, then another experiment is there to show that chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. Here what we have to do, we have to take one de-starched croton plant, then beaker, test tube and all. Then first we have to do, what we have to do, we have to take the plant having variegated leaf, either we can take croton or coleus leaf. Okay, because croton plant or croton leaf or coleus leaf, they are not totally green in color. Some parts of the plant they are having green or yellow or orange patches. Okay, keep the potted plant in sunlight for 5 to 6 hours. Then yes, first we have to de-starch that particular plant. Afterwards we have to keep that particular plant in sunlight. If we are keeping that particular plant in sunlight, after 5 to 6 hours we have to test it for the starch. We will see that the portion of the plant which was green in color, that will show the blue black color, but the portion which was yellow or orange in color, that will not give the blue black color. So this simple experiment indicates that chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. We have seen only the green part of the plant. Suppose this is croton plant, and this part, suppose it is green in color. Here rest all parts are suppose yellow or orange in color. So after the experiment we will see that only these part which was colored, which was green in color, shows the blue black color. Rest all part do not show the blue black color, since we have kept it in sunlight. These green parts can do their photosynthesis easily because they are having chlorophyll, having the presence of chlorophyll, but rest of the parts is not containing the chlorophyll, so they are unable to prepare the starch. So this simple experiment reveals or tells that chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. Okay, now we have to see the factors affecting photosynthesis. So the factors which are affecting photosynthesis is, first one is light, then it is temperature, light, then it is temperature, and then we have CO2 and water. So if we talk about light, that is duration, quality and intensity of light, that is affecting the photosynthesis, directly proportional to rate of photosynthesis. Okay, sunlight is directly proportional to rate of photosynthesis, means if light will be more, rate of photosynthesis will be more. Now coming on to temperature. So if we will talk about temperature, that is temperature is also directly proportional to rate of photosynthesis, but after a certain temperature, means if the temperature exceeds 45 degrees centigrade, then at that time rate of photosynthesis starts to decrease. Now we have carbon dioxide. More amount of CO2 will enhance the rate of photosynthesis and less amount of CO2 will decrease the rate of photosynthesis. So this is also CO2 is directly proportional to the rate of photosynthesis. And we have water. The amount of water, if water presence of water, concentration of water will be more, the rate of photosynthesis will be more. Here also the rate of CO2, if the concentration of CO2 will be more, the rate of photosynthesis will be more. So these are some of the factors which are affecting the rate of photosynthesis. Okay. Now if we will talk about the stomata. So the stomata already we have studied. It is just like this. The stomata, they are having the presence of guard cells. Okay, the stomata are containing the guard cells. The guard cells are responsible for opening and closing of stomata. Okay. See, water from the during the daytime, what is happening? Water from the neighboring cells, it is entering the guard cells. This causes the outer wall to bulge. So once it is absorbing the water, what is happening? This outer wall bulges out, and as a result of which it pulls the thicker wall. This wall which is thicker, this wall is being pulled. Okay. Once it is bulging, then that wall is being pulled and the stomata opens. During the daytime I am talking, but during the night time what is happening? Water from the guard cell moves out. Okay, when the water from the guard cell moves out of the cell, then as a result of which what is happening? These cells are pulled inward. Okay, these guard cells become straight and the stomata closes. Okay, the thinner wall becomes straight and it closes the stomata. So this is the mechanism of opening and closing of stomata. Totally it is dependent upon the concentration of water. If the water concentration is more, or it is guard cells which has absorbed more water, at that time what will happen? The the stomata will open. If the water has come out of the cell, the guard cell will come closer and it just closes the stomata. So this is the simple concept of opening and closing of stomata, totally dependent upon water concentration. Okay. So each stoma is surrounded by guard cells. On the both sides we have the presence of guard cell in the stomata. The inner wall of the guard cell is thick and outer wall is thin. This wall is thin, but the inner wall is thick. This wall is thick. Okay. So till today we have completed this much. So we have completed page number 64 up till 64, 65. We have seen the experiments also, stomata also. So your work is to read the book properly, and the rest part of this chapter we will be studying in the next class. Okay. Thank you.